Hello everyone, and welcome to a very impromptu episode of Classy Whale. Last Thursday, Amtrak had its public board meeting, and at this meeting they unveiled a newer version of their map of potential future routes. You guys probably remember the Connect Us map from last year. Well, Ryan C. on Twitter has very helpfully made a brand new version of the map based on a similar map shown at the board meeting. So without further ado, I'm going to put the two of them side by side and try to pick out the most important changes to the map. Alright, first of all, here is the 2021 Connect Us map. And one thing I noticed before we go on to the new map is that this map actually included the California high-speed rail. I never noticed that before. Anyways, now on to the new map. And there are a few changes, as you can see. Starting from west to east, we'll look at the big changes and maybe try to figure out some of the smaller ones. They've added a train from Los Angeles up to Boise. It's sort of a mix of the Pioneer and of the Desert Wind. What I don't understand is why it stops in Boise. Why wouldn't it be sort of an inland crescent going all the way from Los Angeles to Portland and connecting, Eastern Oregon and Idaho and these parts of Utah and Nevada with the rest of the national rail network? Kind of seems to stop where it could just keep going, and it used to keep going, I believe. I would definitely want to call this one the Desert Wind if they resurrect it. I'm not sure if the name Pioneer would exactly work in today's climate. Next up, we have a train to Mexico. I'm not really sure why that is, or if that's been talked about before, but apparently we're now taking Amtrak down to Monterrey through Nuevo Laredo, which would be super cool, especially if Mexico actually goes ahead and builds its own sort of intercity rail network, which they're kind of maybe thinking about doing in the medium future. Border control on Amtrak, crossing the Mexican border, would probably be interesting, to say the least, but hey, you could take a train from Dallas to Monterrey one day, hopefully. That would be super cool, and kind of expand Amtrak's international repertoire. Then we have, I believe this is new. Yeah, this is new. A train from San Antonio down to Corpus Christi and Brownsville. I don't really know what's down there, and I guess partially my awareness of Southern Texas, or lack thereof, is just because there is no Amtrak. So maybe there's a lot of population down there. I'm really not familiar with that part of the country. This piece, I think that was there before. The Texas Central high-speed rail. Curiously, a Houston to San Antonio corridor seems to have disappeared between Connect Us and the current version of the map. Also the Bahamas, I just noticed, disappear with a new version. But, Amtrak doesn't go there, so that's not super important. Next up, we have a service between Springfield, Missouri and St. Joseph via Kansas City. I believe this inland route through Iowa is new as well, although a service from Chicago to Iowa City seems to have disappeared alongside a service to Rockford. I'm not sure why that is, why Amtrak decided maybe those weren't priority corridors enough. We also have the return of the North Coast Hiawatha, and apparently there's actually, people in Montana who want to ride a train. I didn't even realize there were people there, but, the more you learn. We also have expanded service to Chico and Reno. Really not aware of what's going on in Chico. I guess there's people who live there who want Amtrak, and if so, good for them. They should get more Amtrak. I'm surprised, however, that an extension of the Capital Corridor to Reno has not been in the works until now. That seems like a... other than the whole mountain pass, snow, maintenance kind of thing, it seems like a pretty decent corridor. All the people in Sacramento who want to go, gamble their savings away, or all the people in Reno who want to, whatever you do in Sacramento. We also have expanded service in Louisiana. I guess now that they got one win with CSX along the Gulf to actually get this New Orleans to Mobile train going, and they were thinking about Baton Rouge before, now they want to put in quite a bit more. This would have the Crescent, I believe, continuing from New Orleans to Dallas, which would be good. The Rail Pass adventure I did last year would have greatly benefited from that, because I went, on the Crescent from Philadelphia to New Orleans to Dallas, except to Greyhound on the last little bit, and it took way longer than it should have because they routed me through Houston. This still doesn't seem like quite the direct route for the Crescent. And it turns out there's also sort of a northern route like so that seems to go kind of via Macon to Savannah. But it looks like there's some erasure here. So I'm going to guess, yeah, there's a couple of corridor services here that have now disappeared. So I guess maybe Georgia and Tennessee just weren't really interested, which is a shame because we got to have a Chattanooga choo-choo. There's literally a song about it, and there's no passenger rail service to that city. What's going on? Anyways, I guess Shreveport gets a train now. I don't really know anything about Shreveport, but good for them. We also have a Cincinnati to Nashville route, or I guess it's Chicago to Nashville via Louisville, but also to Cincinnati. Ohio is getting pretty OP'd in this new version of the map. Before, there were a few new services from Cleveland to Columbus to Cincinnati, but now it's all over the state to Athens and Chillicothe? Please let me know how to say that in the comments. I've never heard of this place before, and now I really, really want to visit it. Oh, there's a Toledo to Detroit. That was on the old map, but I never noticed that. It also looks like Amtrak has been very enthusiastic since the settlement with CSX, and they have now proposed bringing the extended Sunset Limited back down to Orlando. Hopefully we'll see that. Up here, the state of Virginia has purchased this abandoned right-of-way with the hopes of relaying track and turning it back into passenger service. And if so, that would be pretty cool. There'd be kind of a direct route from Richmond to Raleigh via some new communities. It seems like kind of a parallel route to what's already there. I'm not entirely sure what they're getting at, but they probably know what they're doing more than I do. Up in Pennsylvania, the service to Allentown is now gone, which is sad because Allentown needs trains. The service to Ronkonkoma is also gone, which makes sense because Long Island Railroad already kind of has that territory covered. There is a weird southern upstate New York service from Erie that doesn't go all the way to New York City. I really don't understand this. Why wouldn't it connect to the Scranton branch and then go to New York from there? Looks like East-West Rail is a thing in both maps, but trains to New Hampshire have been axed. Also, this part's actually become real rail, so a little bit of a win for Amtrak there. Congratulations. Anyways, those are the major changes to the Amtrak map from the new board meeting. They also announced a couple of upgrades, including a better crew alert service to communicate to passengers why their train's delayed and for how long, and potentially snack and drink carts on the Northeast Regional, which would be a major upgrade and something I've wanted them to do for years. What do you think is missing on this map, and which of these routes do you think you would be really excited to see if they came to fruition? Let me know in the comments, and take care till the next one.